Demolition, released on September 10th, 2015, is a comedy drama film directed by
Jean-Marc Vallée.
Oh, that's how you say it? And written by Brian Sipe, starring the heavy-hitting industry titan Jake Gyllenhaal. We're going to be taking a seat to see if it really deserves that 7 on IMDb, or it's actually just a piece of trash.
Not my chair, not my problem, is that what you say?
Whoa, 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 whoa!
We are first introduced to our main character, Davis Mitchell, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, and his wife, Julia, played by Heather Lynn, who both end up in a car crash where Julia is killed. From the very first introduction to these two characters, you can already tell that something isn't quite right. They don't seem like a happily married couple, and seem more like chained together prisoners. While at the hospital, after the crash, Davis tries to buy some candy from a vending machine that ends up malfunctioning, which in turn leads him to write a complaint letter to the vending machine company, which includes personal details about his life in an emotional way. It's pretty clear after his wife died, he needed someone to talk to, which is why he wrote the letter the way he did, which to me is completely understandable and normal for someone going through grief and hardships, and the actor's portrayal of not totally understanding how to feel is overall a pretty good performance. Davis tells another commuter on the train, who he's been avoiding for a few years, about his wife's death. He tells him that he doesn't think he really loved his wife.
I didn't love my wife.
Because after her death, he doesn't feel any sadness or pain.
I know it's sad to say, but now that she's gone, I don't even feel sad or pain or hurt.
To which the commuter asks, Davis, what do you feel?
Well, what do you feel?
Which makes Davis stand up and immediately stop the train.
I couldn't tell you why I did it.
While watching this, I didn't know what to think when he stopped the train before I realized this is a struggle. This is Davis struggling to feel something or understand why he doesn't feel anything. From here, we get a few scenes of Davis beginning to actually destroy things, starting with other household appliances.
It's Vonnie here. I just want to say this quote is my favorite in the entire movie, so I hope you guys enjoy it just as much as me.
The human heart is like repairing an automobile. Just examine everything. Then you can put it all back together.
And then moving up to destroying his work computer, before eventually telling his boss and father-in-law Phil that he has the urge to dismantle a grandfather clock in Phil's office.
Pure craftsmanship, artistry.
That belonged to my great-grandmother, 1890s.
I want to rip it apart and spread it out all over the floor. I mean, no offense to your great-grandmother, but I see a clock like that and I want to know what it looks like inside.
This is the point in the movie where everything starts ramping up, with Davis struggling more and more to figure out why he has the urge to destroy and dismantle things. During all of his inner struggle, Davis continues to write back and forth with a person from the vending machine company, who we eventually found out is named Karen.
No more games, Karen. I'll see you soon.
Karen lives with Carl, her boss and boyfriend, as well as her 15-year-old son named Chris. After Carl leaves on a business trip, Karen and Davis begin to form a deep friendship, with Karen ultimately being the person to tell Davis that his destruction is okay and part of his healing process. I think Karen and Chris are both amazing supporting characters that complement Davis really well. They serve as sort of guides to Davis as well as accomplices in his destruction. Davis is then invited to join his in-laws in funding a foundation in Julie's name that will award an annual scholarship, with Davis being rude to one of the candidates for the scholarship, which ends in Phil asking Davis to transfer Julia's life insurance money to the foundation in her name. After the talk with Phil, Davis heads to the hardware store with Chris to buy demolition tools, and with Chris's help, begins the destruction of his and Julia's house. To go back to what I said before, I think the actors all do an amazing job at portraying each character's struggle, especially Jake's performance as Davis, and how unemotional he is towards everything. It reminds me heavily of Donnie Darko, another Jake classic. While destroying the house, Davis finds an ultrasound from the previous year, which Julio never told him about it. It actually ends up destroying him, and it's the real first emotion we see from Davis since his wife's death. Davis with Karen being the ultrasound to his in-laws' house while they are throwing a party to celebrate the creation of Julia's foundation. He then asks Julia's mother why Julia never told him about the baby, which leads to the final twist of the movie. The baby isn't his. Julia had cheated and had asked for her parents' help in covering up and getting rid of it.
It wasn't yours.
Davis then returns to Karen's house where Carl, her boyfriend, has finally returned and has actually read all of Davis's letters to Karen. We then get a very visually beautiful scene of Davis getting beaten up by Carl while Chris gets jumped by a group after taking Davis's advice to be himself and coming out as gay.
Here's your refund. Keep the change.
After getting out of the hospital after his beating, Davis finally visits Julia's grave where he meets Michael, the person that caused the accident that killed Julia. Davis forgives Michael and he experiences flashbacks of his and Julia's past, showing that at one time they were in love and were happy. This leads to Davis finally crying, bringing himself the closure he's been searching for.
What's having you say?
Davis has finally figured out what he's been searching for, and with this newfound closure begins to reconcile with Julia's parents asking Phil to help Davis fix an old carousel that was to be destroyed in honor of Julia. Final ending scene is Davis running happily around the carousel on the beach with Davis, finally happy. In conclusion, I will give it an 8 for this movie. If you look at it at a different angle and compare Davis to a normal human being going through grief is very different. Then again, different people handle grief differently. So, my opinion, I think like a normal human being goes through grief, like very emotional, crying, sobbing, everything, and then accepting it. But Davis, he just, very straight face, doesn't care, and wants to know why he's not, experiencing, very emotional. So I think that's why, to me, is deserves a higher rating. It just shows, different people going through different things.
I'm not afraid.